Good evening. Good evening. How y'all ladies doing?
Good.
Good.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yay,
Happy
our favorite
Wednesday.
day of the week.
Yes, it's
Make
podcast time.
sure huh?
I said it's podcast time.
Yes,
And
8
we are
p.m.
back.
every Wednesday. Real Chill Conversations with me, Nat Moss. We got Miss Brenna B, Dominic, and Edwina all joining us tonight on this important conversation. I feel like all of our conversations are important. That's why we decide to discuss them. So
Yes.
tonight, we will be talking about the state of hip hop, past and present, and society. What effects it might have on society, what effects has have been proven, and just basically some different examples of things that have happened, and I want us to try to figure out if hip hop had any influence on these specific instances. So first I want to take us back to when hip hop first started. I know back in the day, a lot of people want to say it was early 90s. A lot of people say it was the 80s. I'm not sure. I wasn't born then. I wasn't listening to hip hop back then, honestly. But I can say that if I walked in the room and read the room, maybe in like one of their events or even a studio session, I feel like the climate back then was more of a friendly competition, just because of the wordplay. It was real lyricist. It was more of a mental competition than how it is seen nowadays. It's like a physical competition, like who can get the most girls and who could, go hard on the stage, or who can fight, or, all that. And I feel like things have turned negatively.
Yes.
So, if you were to walk into the room, what kind of feel do you think you would get back when hip hop first started?
I think
Anybody?
I think back then, it was all about having a good time. It
Yeah.
was you look back and if you watch, there's there's a documentary on Netflix and
Hmm.
it talks about the early days of hip hop. And in the course of that documentary, you see a lot of live footage of hip hop going on and what was happening. And you saw it a lot happening in the streets,
Hmm.
at block parties, skating rinks. It was all about fun and all about having a good time and people just talking about their true life stories, what they were actually living and what they were actually going through. Versus right now, I feel like it's all an illusion. You've got
Hmm.
people that are trying to play like they're hardcore and they live this tough life, but really they grew up in the suburbs in a two-parent household, with middle class, status income, not struggling, not going through any strife, but they're out here and they're talking about guns and violence and women and what they're going to do with those women and how many women they can bag and all of
Hmm.
that. So it is very much a different feel. The state of it is much more aggressive. I mean, there's countless shootings that are going on with beefs between different rappers. And then there's also this underlying issue of gang affiliation within the rap community. And I don't think that was really going on back in the day when hip hop first started. They just weren't rocking like that. And it's definitely different today.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like back then they were clicked up, like, they had their groups and their whatever, but I don't think it was necessarily to do harm. Um, I understand being defensive because sometimes people bring that out of us. But when it's just senseless, it's kind of like, okay, like what is really even the issue here? So I feel like back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, you could take it out and feel you could take it out by spitting some bars, and you'll feel like you defeated them mentally just by your words and how, how sharp they hit. As opposed to now, it's kind of like there's not many battle rappers um in the limelight, so it's not really about the art nowadays. It's more so about the sales and the popularity. So it's like, who do we blame? Do we blame the musicians, or do we dig a little deeper and can we blame the record labels and the radio stations and the different publications that are allowing these type of artists that are, not positive artists. They're not putting out positive um they're not putting out positive, I don't want to say lyrics, but just um work in general. So it's like, who do you blame? Do you blame the artist? Because ultimately, it's like, if you see that a label is paying this person this person that, and they are the more aggressive types, is that the reason why these suburban kids are feeling like they have to prove themselves to get the bag, to get that popularity and fame? Or it's hard to come to the conclusion on that one.
There's
Yeah.
definitely, I think, a responsibility with the labels, and even the labels and just how things work are different today than they were back then. And
Mhm.
so the labels are signing you, and they're having people, consultants even, come in and help you to promote a specific image
Mhm.
and a specific brand. I mean, everything now is all about brands. What is your brand, and all of that. And so you've got this mindset of, okay, I'm going to make X amount of money. I'm going to get this bag. And all I have to do is rap about this, X, Y, and Z, whether it makes any kind of sense lyrically or not. But you have these people that are getting discovered via social media
Mhm.
like YouTube and TikTok and things like that, and they're getting signed to labels. And even the labels, the way that they're set up, just are very, very different today. And even how things go on in radio, I mean, that's changed, as well, once things started coming online and streaming became available. So there's a lot, I think, that contributes to that and puts that mindset in the person, in the artist, that they can present this image, and it's supported by, the culture that has been created with this, ideal of, you've got to be the biggest and the best and have the most followers, and all of that. I mean, it really is it's a lot, but it's very, very
Mhm.
different than it was back then.
I
Um,
believe that many people do believe that it is hip hop is destructive and produce some type of destructive behavior against our youth, I guess. I do agree that it can have a terrible impact if it's used the wrong way. So the way I look at it from hip hop back in the days, it was like Brenna was like, it was more, laid back. Lyrics were actually making sense, or
mhm.
it was kind of like a different atmosphere, I would say. But nowadays, I just feel like society, just takes it in the wrong way. They use the entertainment in the wrong way. And the whole entertainment industry has changed. It has completely changed. But one of the things I do want to say, however, I do believe that hip hop has also done a lot when it comes to like bringing people together.
Mhm.
Because, you might like the same songs, go to the same concert, be in the same, that kind of
Mhm.
brought people from different cultures, race, together. So
Definitely.
I
Because the
do,
culture is strong.
Yeah.
yeah, I do think that it did have also positive impacts in society. Um, I mean, the artists is, you know, most of them are black males, so young black males can identify with them and what they may be rapping about or talking about. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're listening to it. But I feel like you really have to be a strong minded person to be like, this is just entertainment. This is not what these people are really doing, because half of them, come on, we know is, you know, for entertainment purposes.
So what about the kids that can't decipher what's real and what's, just entertainment? Because you have what, 5 sons, is it, Dominic?
Yes.
Yes.
So what do you hear coming out of, like what's popular right now to them? Is it like the people that are on TikTok, the Instagram artists? Like, what do you feel is making them like an artist or making a artist popular in their eyes?
I want to say that they might like a song, but like my kids don't glorify no artist or no
Hmm.
crap like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying it's like how far I always taught my kids and told them like, just because you hear them rapping about this, rapping about that, because let's just be real. Half of the time, you're not going to be able to control what your kids are listening to. You either got
Mm-mm.
to go to work or you have to be at work 8 hours a day. You're not going to be able to
Yeah.
control all that.
You can't
So,
supervise it all.
and they're gonna see it with their friends. They're gonna be in the car with their
Hmm.
friends. Their friends gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? So I do always have let them know that it's just entertainment.
Hmm.
Okay, it's like all that stuff they talking about. No, it's just, and you'll have to learn how to identify that. Like I learned to identify that I'm not so big of going to concerts. Like sometimes Edwina even say, "Oh, let's go to this concert." I'm not so big in concerts. Like I don't. I mean, if I like the music, I'm gonna listen to it, and if I can vibe to it, yeah, whatever. At the same time, but I'm not so big on that.
Because do
So
y'all realize how quickly like lyrics and stuff get stuck in our head, like whether we want it to or not? Like I don't know if I hear these songs in the store, in the Kroger. Like how do I even know some of these songs? I wonder, when I don't go to search for them. Like I don't type them in YouTube. I don't
Yeah.
go look for them. So it's like, how do I even know this stuff sometimes?
It just happens.
yeah,
It just pops in your mind. Like you go to the mall and then you go in different stores and they're playing music, and then all of a sudden that
Yeah.
song is stuck in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and certain lyrics are stuck in your head, and you're like, singing it to yourself in the car or whatever, and then there you have it.
yeah, it's whatever you listen to, whatever it goes, like if you were meditating or if you were saying affirmations with anything else, it's gonna stay
Mm-hmm.
in your head.
Yeah.
It's something you're already listening to. Now I'm curious because you do your
Oh my God.
your music review. So
And that's why I do my music reviews, because I had to make a set day where I listen to these submissions, because if I'm listening to them whenever they send them, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no. I will drive myself crazy. It's just so much music, and it's just highly oversaturated with men, most of them younger than I am. So it's kind of like I've experienced things that, I'm kind of past certain topics that they talk about. I'm not really viewing the world like that. It's not going to say I'm not viewing it like that anymore. Most cases I never really have, because, guys, they experience things differently than women. So I had to pick a set day where I say, okay, Mondays or okay, Fridays is when I'm going to do the live music reviews, or my head will explode. I grew up on Spanish music. My parents owned a Spanish music store, so I listened to both, but I know more Spanish music like salsa, merengue, bachata. So I wanted to go back to you, Dominic, and ask you this. Do you see the major difference in the context and the topics on what they're talking about in Spanish music as compared to hip hop, R&B, and rap and trap?
Yes, it is a big difference. It
I
is.
I feel like with Spanish music, it's like about treating your woman right, never letting
Yes,
her
yes.
go, love,
And now
family.
you all you hear is how it's cool to cheat on your girl or
Mhm.
do this, do that, you know.
And that's because I feel like there's an agenda deeper that wants to put that message out, and it's going to leave a lot of people lonely. A
Yeah,
lot of
that
people
is
are
true.
going to be dying like dogs without a legacy because they chose to listen to these narratives and follow certain stereotypes. So
But
it
look,
can be dangerous.
Nat, hip hop is powerful and it's heavily used.
Mhm.
Look, it's a lot of money to be made off of
Mhm.
it. So even then I look at the artists and I be like, they're not even making enough money because let them tell it. They'll sit down and break down one day and say they're not making enough money. But guess
Mhm.
who are making the big money?
The person that signed them.
Exactly.
We
I'm
ran
sorry.
into
Go ahead, Edwina.
I'm sorry, Edwina. We ran into this all the time at the radio station when we would interview artists and we would talk to them about, their journey. It all speaks as to, you get signed and you might get an advance, but you still have money that you have to repay the label. And then it's talking about whether or not you actually even own your music. Do you actually, own it, or is it just part of the label? And then these terrible 360 deals that were leaving people stuck and these needing to put out 10 albums, and just having to go through what you have to in order to reach the level of being signed. And then you have them discuss how they decided and they've made decisions to become independent and to self-publish and all of that. And that's been something that has been on trend. But as you were saying, that a lot of the artists that come in, for interviews that we talk to, I mean, there's just a level of, I don't really understand what you're what you're rapping about. I mean,
Mhm.
it's cool, but it's oversaturated. Like I've heard this beat before. Like I've heard
Mhm.
the same thing. Like the cadence sounds just like this. It just sounds like you remade a song that I've
Well,
already heard.
now
Mhm.
everyone can rap if they have the auto tune. I
Mhm.
mean, that's all you need. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Edwina. I know you had something to say.
No, it's okay. Um, I totally forgot, by the way, what I was gonna say first. But to get back to what you guys were just saying about how everybody can rap, I think it's more of a come up. I think in the '90s and the '80s, that's how people viewed it as making out of the projects or wanted as a better life for themselves. It's a come up. Same thing as athletes. When you see the nice cars and the jewelry and the all that image on TV, you want to have it. So I think that's why a lot of the young people, men and women, are the way they are today because they want that lifestyle. They want to have that Lamborghini. They want to have five chicks in a swimming pool. They want that image, um, how most rappers have it, but it's not really portrayed to be that way, if you know what I mean. And then I wanted to piggyback on to what Natalie was saying, how, back in the day when people exchanged words, they rapped it out. Nowadays, in the last, what I'm gonna say, in the last year, I've been seeing a lot of artists, rappers that've been dying because they're getting shot. It's not the same way anymore. I think it was even last month an artist got shot here in Atlanta, a well-known artist. Um, so that's all I was just going to say, just piggyback on what y'all was saying earlier.
Edwina, I wanted you to give some input on just the power of words and how these things can, subconsciously resonate in either a positive or negative way, depending on the topic.
Yeah, definitely not. I would say a lot of the lyrics, and let me say this first off, a lot of the kids, they don't really listen to the lyrics. They listen to the tune, the beat. That's what really catches you. For me, let me say that. And
Mhm.
then I listen to the lyrics. But if you're rapping about killing somebody and you're hearing that over and over again, it's repetition. So it's like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just murder somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody will, but it can be it you can hear it so much that it can make you want to with all your anger from your past or your childhood. You don't know what could be affecting you. You know what I mean? Even
Mhm.
stealing. They said when people were listening to songs about stealing, 95% of African American men went out and stole something because they were hearing that in the lyrics. Words are very powerful, and we don't realize that words are very powerful. That's why they always say, watch what you say, watch how you speak, because of that. So now I can say that certain lyrics, certain songs can have a bad influence on our young people today,
So,
especially when it comes
ladies,
about. Hmm?
let me take y'all back to NWA. Do you think that that song "F the Police" had an impact on how society look at police officers nowadays, or
Yeah, there's no respect when it comes to police. But I'm not saying that police haven't drawn that line. People don't respect them. But if you have a song that says F the police and everybody's jumping on the car and playing the song F the police in a riot, it has an impact.
but I do believe that, I mean, this stuff was going on way before this song came up, or any of um the violence that we see today. I mean, it's definitely been going on for a long time.
No,
So do
no, but
y'all really think that it
Dominique,
has
there was a
something
song
to
back in
do?
the day about the police saying "F the police." I think it was like in the '80s,
I
if I'm
said
not
that.
mistaken.
Yes, it's
Uh,
NW. Yeah. So that's what I was getting to, because police, I mean, brutality was already going on way before that. So it was just a question that I had.
yes, but I think even though it was going on before that, people didn't have the courage to speak up. You see, because you have to remember racism was still going on at that time too. People wasn't allowed to speak up like they were then.
I was listening to what Cardi B said about her song. She has a song that she stated that, well, she was almost, I believe she was crying when she was speaking about it. But she said that it activated demons, and it was that song "Shake It." Um, so
Oh, Lord.
she didn't wanna sing the song, because it wasn't who she was, and she talked about how it activated demons in a person that it wasn't her. I took it as she doesn't want to be that type of person anymore, because she was also talking about how she wants to be a mother now, and that's what she's focused on. So maybe an artist is that put them back, like when they're doing songs, especially if she's saying that it's activating demons. Maybe it's something that she does. It's just something that she doesn't want to feel. I mean, that's how I took it. Like
Yeah,
now she's trying to be a different person, and she's trying to be a mother. She's doesn't want to get into that type of music anymore.
yeah. It.
She was
I'm
very
trying to I'm
emotional.
trying to watch what I'm saying now because sometimes people can get offended by what you're saying. But you know how people
Oh, you ain't gotta
make
watch what
jokes.
you saying.
No, no, you do. You do when it comes to a spiritual path. But you know how people make jokes about the Illuminati. Okay. I don't know much about it, but it's another dark side to hip hop and R&B from what I have heard. What I,
We've
Edwina, have
heard.
heard.
We've
So
heard.
you just don't know
Yes.
what somebody could have been involved in or got into because look what happened last year at a concert that we did a podcast on, you see? And the images that person was using, you know what I mean? The third eye and all that. So you just never know what somebody is into. So you don't know what she could have done to make her feel that way over her lyrics, over her song. I'm just saying, you just don't know. People play and joke about the Illuminati, but I personally feel like that it's real.
And it goes back to, the power of the tongue and the power of words. You speak it, and a lot of times, you can speak things. You can actually speak things into existence. So whether or not you believe in the Illuminati or not, if you've read any of the history and the background and kind of, what it represents and what it symbolizes and what it means, and following the symbolism that is tied to certain artists, and like you're talking about Edwina, the Travis Scott.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. That's why I was trying not to bring this up. People get offended when you bring up certain things, but yes, that's what I was talking about.
With that concert and the imaging and the imagery that was on display during the concert, and then you have all of these unfortunate deaths that occurred, at that concert. So yeah, I mean, words are very powerful. I mean, you can literally speak things into existence. I mean, it's just like if you're listening to something, it's no different than when you're listening to a mindful meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You're using that to guide your mindset, your thought process, and that drives your behavior as well. So it's very powerful. I mean, I don't underestimate it. I think that, that's also has a little bit of a connection as to why certain songs and certain things kind of get like
stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like
I really think that they're opening the door for this, stuff to go on, because like I said, they're making money out of it, y'all. Like, society has totally changed. Like, the kids that are growing up now, I don't even hear too many talking about, what we talked about back then, or what our parents talked about before that. It's just a growing cycle. And like I said, hip hop is powerful, and they're going to use it. The big ones, they know who they are, to make money out of it. It doesn't matter who goes down to them. To me, they don't care.
Yeah.
And that's just my personal opinion. You can say what you want to say, but to me, they don't care.
They don't.
Of course
But
not.
you're right. What you're right, Dominic. And I was going to say is, I remember growing up, and it was a positive show, 106 in Parks. But that was my show. I used to look forward to seeing it. What artist was gonna be on it? Like, who's gonna be rapping on it? And then they did like the freestyle battle with the DJ. Like, it was a positive show with two positive people. I don't know why they took the show away, but that's how I was raised, and that's how I ended up starting to like concerts. Like, my first concert was the TLC concert with Destiny's Child, Nelly. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was a positive concert. It was something that growing up, it wasn't worried about somebody getting shot, or you talking about sleeping with somebody, or catching holes. It wasn't negative. It was so positive. It was like, can you pay my bills? Yeah, pay my bills.
I feel like once they realize the influence and the impact that the culture had, once they realized that, I feel like they ran with it, and they just force-fed us that over and over and over and over. And it's not just in the lyrics, it's also in the beat. Sometimes different sounds can, resonate and kind of bring something out of us. Like, I was watching, when was this? Probably like a summer or two.
Before you go on, I think they're forcing it onto the new generation, not us.
Exactly.
We know better.
Oh, yeah.
Because they see how easily they can be swayed.
Yes.
And they see how much they care about that. That's all they care about is entertainment culture. Who's dating who? Who's fucking who? Who's with who? Who's wearing what? Who's where? Who's the, it's like
baby mamas.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Baby mamas. Yeah.
And even with like our rough songs, because I remember I was just traveling and I was getting really sleepy on the road, and I put on Nuck If You Buck, because that's a crunk song. And Jeremiah was like, they're talking about fighting. I said, well, at least they're talking about fighting instead of shooting. Y'all be ready to shoot somebody. Can we just go back to old
Okay.
school where we just fighting with hands? And
Yeah,
he was like,
throwing
oh my
hands
God.
better than
Exactly.
But do
popping
you
up.
have to
Yeah.
think about who is dying right now? Who
The
is
young ones.
dying right now?
The young ones. The young
Thank you.
artists.
Okay.
Left and right. They're dropping like flies.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's sad because I think it was one artist, if I'm not mistaken, correct me please. He was a young artist and he was driving downtown Atlanta and somebody shot him on the highway. Who does that on
Right.
the highway?
Right.
That's crazy.
And then
And-
there was a story of another artist. I think it was out in California. I mean, he was like just getting out of jail and he was shot and killed.
Yeah.
And the story here in Atlanta with the artist that was shot and killed by the crazy ex-boyfriend, the abusive boyfriend,
Yeah.
of the girl that he was chilling with. And so, you know, it's definitely tough. It's rough out here, and we're promoting, you know, all of this violence and all of these videos and all of the imagery with guns, and you know, the pictures also are very impactful, and you're watching that and you're seeing the videos and they're posed up with these guns and all these cars and all these, you know, blinged out necklaces and rings and watches and all this other kind of stuff. And so when you're young, and like, you know, like in today's youth, like they don't understand that that's an illusion. That's
That's an image.
Yeah.
It's just the image.
Yeah.
They don't get
Some
it.
of that jewelry is not even real.
Exactly.
I was gonna say that they've been killing
Come
people
on.
for their chains, and they don't even know if it's real or not.
Exactly.
It's like, come on. And I feel like nowadays more and more people are, you know, more and more parents, I feel like, are separated now than before. So it's kind of like the youth, in most instances, they just don't have anybody else to look up to. Like back in our day, we were close with the adults around us, like whether they were our aunts, our
Yeah.
uncles,
That is true,
great
Natalie.
aunt, great uncles. So our idols were people that we knew because
And
we
our
knew
family.
they were solid. We knew they were good people. They were right there. We knew it based off of our interaction with them. Nowadays, people are idolizing people that you don't know shit about these people. They could be
Exactly
the devil walking. They could be just
Yeah.
an asshole, and it looks good because they make it look good. It's easy. They got these advances. So it's like, okay, everything is good on the up and up, but we don't know them. No, we don't know anything about them. And we're giving all this attention, money, and time just
And that's
listening
not-
to these same topics. They're
that's
not
not
talking about
the-
anything different.
That's not to knock anyone hustle, but
Mm-mm.
I feel like more people have been awakened to what's really going on. And I hope that, you know, they would see it just as entertainment, and they don't let these people, you know, keep getting away with just trying to make money by making our kids go cuckoo or something. Yeah,
And that's what they did, because you can like I told Jeremiah, when he see the rappers with a whole stack of money, yeah, it can be real. Or they could have easily went on Amazon, bought some fake money and put it in the middle and have real money on top and real money on bottom.
Right.
And then you're just thinking like, oh my God, he's rich. You don't know. It may look
But
like he's in an airplane.
People are not getting rich like that. Edwina. They also they're not even getting rich. They're getting popularity. And it's all, if you have an Instagram page and you have a million followers.
Yeah.
But anybody can get that for you.
Yeah.
You see,
Exactly.
so if you know a way to get it, then that right there is gonna make you popular. That doesn't mean you have money though. For real.
And that doesn't mean you're a good person on the inside.
No.
Exactly, Natalie. That's what we need to teach our young kids about who's being a good person on the inside.
And
it's
I
not
think
about your
people
outer
are
appearance.
right. You're very true. I think people, like you said, Dominic, people are becoming a little more aware of things and how it's kind of like programming people to be zombies and just rap, 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 trap, trap, trap all day. It's like, damn, y'all don't listen to nothing else. Like, slow it down a little. Listen to some oldies, some slow jams, some
Yeah.
something reggae
I
or
love me some
shit,
slow jams.
something. But I
Yeah,
feel like
and
people are realizing it because they're having
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
There's
Like
Mhm.
Cardi B, they're maturing.
there's a
Mhm.
comment on our stream from a Facebook user and saying parents must monitor what kids are exposed to.
That's
Um,
true.
and also stating that the music industry is behind it when we were talking about whether or not it's the labels that are putting this out there or it's the artists. And then another comment saying that some artists sell out, so that's true, like
Wow, I totally agree with them
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Hmm.
I doubt in my mind some artists break down. So
yep,
obviously
Mhm.
it can't be the artist all the time. And
yep,
sometimes the artists don't even want to rap about a
Hmm.
certain thing, but they have to put it out there because
Yep.
that's the only way they're going to catch the youth attention.
right,
Yep.
Mhm.
I was
But
reading something. It said that the bigger picture and the ultimate goal for the higher ups is population control.
mm, that makes sense.
So if we're killing each other, that's one way. If we're turning each other against one another and it's always a battle of the sexes, that's another way. Families are
Mhm.
diminishing at a rapid pace.
wow,
Um, and just it's like the LGBT community. I saw they made a point about that too. If everybody's homosexual, then how's reproduction happening?
mm,
So I mean,
Mm,
there's some things to think about, definitely.
yeah, that is true. But it is true. We do have to monitor our kids.
Yes.
I know growing up, my mom, yes, I had a strict mom, but I'm glad she was the way she was raising me, and my sister. We couldn't just listen to anything. Like, first off, I was raised in a very strict Christian home, Christian home. So we couldn't listen to rap music at all. So if I wanted to listen to rap music, I had to literally put like I had a CD. You know the portable CDs, y'all? Do y'all remember that?
yep,
Yep.
That's how old
Hmm.
I am. So I had a portable CD player. And my first CD that I bought with my own money, it was Lauryn Hill. And I had my Lauryn Hill CD at the bottom and I had my Christian music on top. And I closed it and I was just like beat bopping away. And my mom was like, I know you're not beat bopping to Christian music like that. So she flipped it open.
Oh no.
Yes, girl, I flew across the room. My mom was really upset at me, but then she came back and she talked to me and she was just explaining to me why she didn't want me to listen to that type of music at that time. And that time I understand why, because Lauryn Hill, she was talking about,
That thing.
that thing.
exactly.
She was talking about, you know, boys, they only want to get what you leave you.
Hmm.
And then quit it. So I didn't understand. Like I said, I was just listening to like the tune. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, the words. So yeah, my mom, she's an amazing woman, but I do thank her for being strict on me and my sister. Like we didn't have a door. She took the hinges off the door. She knew what
Oh,
was going on in her house the whole time.
no
Debbie
games.
Douglas, yeah, no games.
Wow,
She
wow,
don't know what's going on in her house. But that's why me and my sister, we are the women who we are today, very respectful women. And I'm trying to raise my kids the same way, not the exact same way, not too strict, but sort of the same way. I like to monitor them, but not too closely.
Okay, balance.
Yeah. Hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Because
Yeah.
there is you can monitor your kids, like I said, the best you can, but at the end of the day they're gonna go out there and they're gonna hear from somebody else, so just make sure
Exactly.
they're talking to them.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna
I talk
be
to my
exposure,
kids, I tell them what's going on.
yeah,
You
Hmm.
gonna know the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. But you
That
have to
makes
know this
sense.
because you don't want your kids to learn it from anybody else. Even if it's those hard, tough conversations that I didn't want to have with my son, I still did it for his safety. And so he
Right.
knows what's out there. Because once again, in a Christian home, a lot of stuff you can't talk about that. Like, you're not allowed to talk about sex. So I was learning stuff from my friends, and I should have learned it from my parents.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like forbidden or something. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
that's major.
Yep, it is.
So,
I was
who is to
listening.
blame?
Yeah.
That
But that's
is
another
the
topic.
magic question. That's the question right there. Like, we all know, we all can agree that the music industry has definitely changed, and you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity out there that is influencing others. But yeah, that's the magic question right there. Who are the people to blame for this? Like, it has to be where the money at.
And them choosing to do anything for money.
Mhm.
Love that. I love that.
Follow the money.
I love what you ladies are doing. That's a comment that we just got on the stream. Thank you for that. Shout out to you, user on Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
you.
support. Definitely.
We
So, I think
definitely
that
hope to continue.
concludes. You said what, Dominique?
I said we definitely hope to continue.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Our 1 year anniversary is coming up. Give it up for the ladies of Real Chill Conversations. Woo!
All right, everybody clap.
Hey.
1 year.
So that concludes our hip hop and society chat for the evening. If anybody has anything else to say, y'all can go ahead. Don't hold your tongue.
I would just say that, this has been an important conversation and a discussion, and it's obviously something that is on the minds of other people. We've got a lot of comments on this stream tonight, so it's great that people are tuned in, and it seems that we're on the same page with understanding what the impact is of hip hop on society. So definitely a great topic tonight.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Natalie, for bringing it up.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks, Nat.
We got to
It
help
was a
each
great topic.
other. We got to help each other in this thing called life.
Indeed.
Yeah, and educate.
For sure. We'll be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. You do not want to miss this next conversation we have. Real Chill Conversations. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, and any other social media that we have coming. We have some new flyers finna drop. We got a photo shoot plan, so I hope y'all ladies are ready.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
Yes.
I'm gonna drop it to the group chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank y'all
I
for
know.
tuning in. Hey, thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you, Nat, for
I
tonight.
enjoyed it.
We appreciate
Yes, thank you.
Definitely.
All right, y'all. Peace
it. All right,
out.
guys. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.